Relationships that require constant chasing are exhausting. You find yourself sending the unanswered texts, explaining your feelings for the 10th time, and acting as a permanent emotional safety net for someone who offers nothing in return. It's like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it disappears. Eventually, the fatigue becomes too heavy. You stop the begging, you stop the explaining, and you step back into a period of total silence. This creates a strange reaction. Almost exactly when you decide to stop making them the center of your life, they suddenly reappear. The moment you go quiet is the same moment they start reaching out. Movies portray this as a moment of clarity, where the distance reveals a deep, hidden truth to the other person. But the psychological reality behind why people return is rarely that romantic. Walking away acts as a specific trigger. To understand why, we have to look at how humans process loss, and what actually happens when you remove someone's guaranteed access to your emotions. When a relationship creates distance, the two people involved rarely process that separation on the same timeline. If you were the one doing the chasing, you likely felt the pain immediately. You endured the overthinking and the vulnerability right when the distance began. This chart shows the mismatch. The chaser line spikes instantly with grief, while the distancer flatlines, using distractions to avoid the pain. But suppressing pain only delays it. Their emotional response peaks later, crossing paths just as your line finally stabilizes. This delay explains why they reach out just as you've started to feel like yourself again. Their peak emotional response is simply months behind yours. In many one-sided dynamics, the chaser provides an emotional safety net. Because you are always there to fix things, the other person never has to face the consequences of being distant. This graph illustrates human interaction. We devalue the guaranteed. When your emotional availability is high, your perceived value drops. But when you start no contact, availability drops to zero. This sudden scarcity creates a shock, causing your perceived value to rapidly rise. This absence forces them to reflect. Without you there to reassure them, they begin to face the uncertainty of permanent loss. But this often has more to do with a bruised ego than genuine affection. They are used to having access to you, and the sudden loss of that attention feels like a challenge they need to solve. When someone returns under these conditions, they are usually looking for the comfort and validation you used to provide, rather than looking to build a healthier connection. The silence usually breaks with a message like this. It's vague, low effort, and sent when they are feeling the weight of that delayed loneliness. This isn't a sign that the relationship is fixed. It is a test of your new boundaries to see if the door is still unlocked. In this moment, your brain may begin nostalgia editing. You start remembering the jokes and the chemistry, while your memory glosses over the months of inconsistency and being ignored. It is easy to mistake the relief of hearing from them for genuine emotional safety. But feeling familiar is not the same as being respected. Returning to the same person without seeing actual changes in their behavior usually leads to the same result. You simply reopen the cycle you worked so hard to escape. While the other person was avoiding their feelings, you were undergoing a transition. By refusing to chase, you forced yourself to build a life that doesn't revolve around their responses. You set boundaries, you reconnected with your own interests, and you learned how to sit with the discomfort of being alone. These small daily acts of self-reliance begin to shift your perspective. Instead of waiting for their approval to feel valuable, you start to base your worth on your own progress and stability. This internal regulation changes how you interact with the world. You become calmer and less reactive. When you no longer project a need for validation, the dynamic of your relationships changes. If they do return, your focus should stay on their patterns, not their words. Watch for consistency and effort over time. If the behavior hasn't changed, the apology doesn't matter. Using silence as a tactic to win someone back is just another way of chasing them. Real empowerment happens when you realize you are already complete, whether they return or not.